friends, how are we doing today? Tuesday Talks, absolutely outstanding this week, guys. And we got literally probably one of the most important topics that we could easily ever cover. And I know I say that every week, but let's be real here, guys. Self-happiness. Seems a little redundant. Everyone wants to be happy. But what I mean here, guys, is doing the things that it takes to make yourself happy. I mean everything from taking care of yourself to helping the people around you to being yourself and not really caring about the opinions of others. I got a couple really key things to kind of cover here, guys, and honestly, we're all gonna take some time to figure this one out. Like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be super hard to get this one figured out. But number one on that list, guys, you have to decide to be happy. You have to decide that you don't want to sit there and drown in your sorrows. You don't want to have to drown in all the decisions and the hard topics of life anymore. You have to decide that you want to be good, that you want to be happy, that you want to have that smile on your face that nobody can take away from you. You have to decide that. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort to be able to get to the point where you're okay with who you are and the way things are. It's not something that, you can just flip a switch and say, okay, I got this. This is the way it's going to be. This is who I want to be. This is how I want to be remembered. And this is how I want things to go. It's not easy to do. It's not. But it starts when you decide it's going to start. Always remember that you have to choose to be happy each and every day. Now, sometimes it's going to take saying no. Do you realize that? It's a little backwards, but sometimes you have to say no. Don't be afraid to tell people no. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I can't do this because it's not good for me. I can't come to your aid. I can't fix your problems because it's not good for me. Saying no is a powerful thing, guys. It is a huge tool in your arsenal to keep yourself happy. You don't want to overload yourself with everyone else's issues, okay? Everyone is going to have problems. It's going to be 99.9% of the time you're going to have some sort of problem. Everyone else is going to have some sort of problem, and I apologize right now for all the dog noises. Shaniqua over here has nails that everyone would want, and I trim them weekly. On a serious note, though, guys, no is an incredibly powerful word, an incredibly powerful tool for your own happiness. Now, guys, I want to stress real fast that you're not being selfish by wanting to make yourself happy. Like that's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you have to be able to put yourself first in order to do anything for anyone else. You have to be able to. If you can't put yourself first, you're not going to be able to help those around you. Prime example of this is romantic relationships. You cannot be in a meaningful, long-term, successful relationship unless you are content and happy yourself. Not just romantic relationships, guys. This travels to every other part of your life. You have to be okay and you have to be happy yourself in order to do anything for anyone else. That's just a given. That has to happen. So don't be afraid to say no. Don't take everyone else's problems on as your own. Be willing to help. Be willing to do the things that it takes to get them to a better place if you can do it without overburdening yourself. You have to be able to do these things in order to keep yourself on a level playing field and without burning out. You burn out, you're useful to no one. You burn out, you can't do things for yourself. You can't do things for other people. Don't be afraid to say no. Sometimes no is the best thing you can do. Sometimes the best things said are the things that are unsaid at all. Same concept right here. Sometimes you have to walk away and say, I can't do this. I'm sorry, but no. Just like sometimes you got to say thank you, even if you don't really know where it's coming from. There's always going to be exceptions to the rules, guys. Don't mark my words as 100%, absolute. No, there's always exceptions to the rule. I do want you to stress out, though. I don't want you to stress out, excuse me. I want to stress the fact that sometimes you got to take care of yourself, right? Sometimes you have to relax. Sometimes you have to give yourself some time. So do this each and every night. Not just, Monday nights, not just Tuesday nights. Take a moment, shut your phone off, read a book, lay down in bed, and just relax. Give yourself some time. Don't rush out on every single other thing that you got in mind. Don't sit there and dwell on what you got to get done tomorrow, and don't dwell on what has to be done in the next week. Take a couple of moments, take a half hour, and just breathe. Sit there, enjoy a nice drink. If you're of legal age, enjoy a water, warm milk, some hot chocolate. If you're not, and just relax. Breathe. Enjoy a stupid TV show, mindless. Or, a really in-depth thriller if that's your cup of tea. There's a study done not too long ago that people who watch horror movies and don't have issues with them tend to be, more sociopathic than others. But that's besides the point. We all like a good horror movie every now and then. While you're relaxing, guys, don't forget that not just at night, but every now and then, do some me time. Take some time to just back off while you're, throughout the day. Your lunch break at work. If you're on lunch, don't stay in the building. Go outside, get some fresh air, get some sunshine. Whole sunshine, all the sunshine. You can get sunshine, you take it. Vitamin D is a really, really, really big thing, and it is the major difference between being cooped up in a room and feeling it, and being cooped up in a room and looking forward to getting out. Along with that, take some time to plan a couple of things out. Not, write it down in depth. No, just go over it in your head and be like, okay, this is going great. Now let's go further. I want to work towards this. That's the broad idea. We're going to go that direction. Let's figure out how to do it. And let it go. Don't write it all down. Don't plot out every single detail. Just keep it in mind and say, okay, this is where I want to go. This is the direction we need to take. So let's do it. Let's give myself some time. Let's think about what I want. Let's think about how I want to do this. And let's play with it. Those little thoughts every now and then are perfectly acceptable. In fact, they're a great idea to give yourself that little subconscious, pre-programmed idea of going, this is where we want to go. This is what we want to do. Let's do it subconsciously. Giving yourself all sorts of, subliminal ideas, being like, this is going to be good. We're going to do it this way. We're going to have some fun with it. We're going to make sure that I am happy, that I'm taking care of myself. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. It's always going to take some serious effort to stay happy, to be happy, to get to that place where you're comfortable with everything going on. It's going to take some serious effort. But I also want you to go easy on yourself. If you're working hard, you're going to fail. If you're working harder, you're going to fail more. But keep in mind, failure isn't long-term. Failure is momentary. As long as you are taking the effort and the time and putting in what it takes to make something happen, they're not so much failures as they are lessons. Again, this goes back to perspective. This is something that we talk about weekly, all the time. In fact, we talk about it in every single stream that we do on this channel. Perspective is everything. They're not failures so much as learning opportunities. And we heard this all growing up. We heard this constantly growing up. Well, you're not failing if you're learning. See, the truth is, yeah, you are failing. You're not completing something. But the absolute outcome of that is entirely how you perceive it. So yeah, you may have lost the race, but are you going to continue to lose if you apply what you learned from that race? Probably not. You didn't make it on that team. You didn't make it to this community. Why? Okay, now you have an opportunity to fix it. Perfect. You've been given something that most people don't get. So take the opportunity and work it. But don't hate yourself. Don't rip on yourself if you don't make something happen the first time. Don't give yourself a hard time if you didn't, happen to make something work the very first time you tried it or for the first couple of times you tried it. Hell, Rome wasn't built in a day. You think those architects were able to figure out those pillars the first try? I guarantee you they weren't. I guarantee there was a lot of pain and a lot of falling. Not necessarily in that order. Guys, when you take the effort and you learn from these situations, when you get put in these chances for your own happiness, when you're given these choices that seem difficult and seem kind of impossible, remember that taking care of yourself and putting yourself first is almost always going to yield better results. Not because you're being selfish, again, no, but because you have to be able to take care of yourself in order to take care of other things. You can't run to go save that baby in the street if you can't run. So you got to be able to take care of yourself before you can take care of that. All right? You have to be able to put yourself in situations and look at yourself before you look at everyone else. So, for example, guys, I host a number of different events for our communities across Twitch and across Discord. And there's a number of times where, over the last couple of months, I've known that I push myself to my limit. Absolutely push myself to the limit, both mentally and physically. And I've had to take a step back. And I've said, guys, I want to do this. I really do. But I have got too much going on. I cannot do it at this moment. The best example I can give of this is there's so many communities that have come out and said, hey, we want you to help with this. We want you to help with this. And I've had to tell them, guys, I can't. I'm sorry. I've got too much going on and I won't be able to give you the best that I can because I got to do this for me first. It sucks. I hate telling people that I can't do that. My personal happiness comes from being able to help so many people so often. But I also know that if I'm in a place where I can't do that, it's going to be better in the long run to say, hey, I can't do this right now. Let me get caught up. Let me take a breather. Let me put myself first. Let me even the playing field, and then we'll come back to this. So we'll put a pin in it for now, but I guarantee you good things are going to happen if we do this. Along with taking care of, putting yourself first, take care of your body. Guys, take care of your physical body. For those of us that are content creators, we spend a lot of time sitting in front of our computers. We spend a lot of time sitting here in front of the computers, or we're looking at our phones, or we're looking through drawing on our iPads, And I'm not going to say that's a bad thing because I do it. We all do. But what I will say is it does take a considerable amount of effort to continue doing that. And it's really, really hard on your body. So if you're doing that long stream, if you're spending 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, 24 hours sitting at your computer, make sure you're getting up every couple hours. Stretch. Drink plenty of water. My water bottle's empty. Eat on a regular basis. And get up and move. Earlier I mentioned getting out into the sun, getting out there and feeling that vitamin D, You need to be able to do that on the daily. If you're sitting at your computer too much, you're not going to be able to effectively put out the content that you want. You're not going to be able to complete the tasks that you want at the level that you need to. So you got to take care of yourself. The really funny thing about saying that you got to take care of yourself is this goes back to a topic that we've covered multiple times in this channel. And it's simply, you look good and you feel good. So if you look at it on a more um, on a more superficial level here, guys, when you look good, you're going to feel good. So if you start taking care of your body physically, you do your hair, and yes, I know I need a haircut right now. Let's not get on me on that one. If you take the time, do your hair, put on a good shirt, wear a good pair of pants, you're going to start to feel better. Well, when you start to feel better, this right here becomes a lot more attainable, a lot easier to come by. Because you're sitting there, you look good, so you smile. Speaking of, smile at yourself. Guys, smile at yourself. Take a second and laugh at the things that you do. As content creators on streaming platforms, we have options for clips, guys. And if you haven't seen any of them, I'm sure that I'll be putting stuff together later on. Check out this page here. There's a ton of good clips on there. But basically, a lot of times you'll see me just laughing at myself for, something that is said in chat or something that is done. And, along with feeling good and looking good and taking care of yourself and being happy, if you can laugh at yourself, if you can laugh at the things that happen and the things that, you do, this is going to come so much easier because you're not going to be worried about all the little things. You're not going to stress over, this project that needs to be done next week. You're not going to stress over this, and that because you know that things are going to happen in the time frame that they're supposed to. If you take care of yourself, you're going to be more relaxed. When you're more relaxed, you will succeed better. You will do things better. You will perform better, and you will continue to excel and blast past any plateau that you may have been stuck on prior. It's really kind of crazy how effective it can be just to smile. It's crazy how incredibly easy it is to do this sort of thing when you look at it as a daily thing, not something that has to be obtained lifelong. Think about it this way. Your happiness is going to come a lot easier when you don't stress about it, when you don't focus it. Again, we'll go back to the whole romantic relationship aspect. When you stop looking for something, that's when good things happen. When you sit there and you focus on it, when you focus and focus and focus and try and make something happen, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't. Like there's no way that it is going to happen when you focus it. So when you focus on this idea of happiness and you want to make it a place to be, it doesn't happen. It is a literal culmination of every little aspect that we've been talking about today. You have to be able to take this and this and this and this and merge them all together. And it's not so much a place as a state. What do I mean by that? It's not a place that you can go, okay? But it is a state of mind that you can achieve by putting all these little things together when you take and give yourself time, and when you take care of yourself, and when you give yourself some confidence, when you stop pushing to do everything for everybody else and you focus on yourself a little bit more. Guys, this is something that we're going to struggle with indefinitely. In fact, every day of your life, this is something that you could struggle with. And one side note to add to this is remember that we all have our own battles. We all have our own problems that we're dealing with. So just because your day is being crappy doesn't mean that the person next to you hasn't hit their happiness for the day. Try not to take them down. Focus on you. Focus on being happy. Focus on putting yourself in that state of mind and enjoying everything that goes around you. When you focus on that, instead of, this one aspect and making this one thing happen, it all falls into place. It's like Tetris. It's like Tetris on level 1. It's nice and easy falling, and you kind of just let it glide into place. When you focus, and you're sitting there looking for that 4 long, just focus on it, you lose sight of everything else dropping into the game. You make the little mistakes, and then it piles up. And once it piles up, it's hard to come back down. Guys, I can't stress this enough. Just smile. Laugh a little. Look good to feel good. Take care of yourself. Stop worrying about everyone else. Say no every now and then. And this happiness thing, it's going to happen for you. And it's going to happen long term. Guys, I thank you all so much for coming out. I look forward to next week. We're going to have another great topic. We might even have a special guest. So keep an eye out Monday for our next topic, our next ability, our next thing to happen. And I cannot wait to see you all there. Bye.